What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 29 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Singapore Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, last few races, bit of a rough patch so far in this 2021 season. A second straight retirement in Monza, unfortunately giving us no resource points back as a result. So, two tough races and 50 points, which could have both been race victories lost, but we have got plenty of resource points to spend those, so try and put those towards some upgrades. We'll go for two major ones here, one in the powertrain department and one on durability, trying to fix those problems from the last race. The turbocharger went once again, as it did all the way back in Portugal. Mercedes have closed the gap in terms of R&D. You see our 19th and 20th place finishes there, not finishes to go by. So I have to order in a new turbocharger for the next race in Singapore. Crucially, we may get a grid penalty for that. I'm not sure what the penalty is if we do it before a race weekend. I'm not sure if there is anything. We'll double check that later on. 84 points is the gap between myself and Verstappen in the World Championship. I think our chances for the driver's title are most likely over. I'd say P3 is probably the best we can get, so we can try and help Red Bull win the Constructors. And of course, we did beat Bottas after qualifying in the last race at Monza, so Hamilton steps in as our new rival, his teammate in the other Mercedes, and he beat us thanks to the DNF. So work to do on that front, but we'll try and recover that during this Grand Prix and the next one in Japan. So advancing time now, getting set for Singapore. This could be a tough one, honestly. I haven't driven Singapore in anger in a career mode save in a good few years. I think the last time I did this track for a career mode was F1 22, so it's been a while since, but our R&D parts come through without too much issue, and we'll see if we've got enough points to go for one more upgrade here. Mercedes looks like they've jumped us, so we are going to this Grand Prix with the second fastest car, because we focused a fair bit more on durability in the last few races, so Mercedes have closed that gap massively. We have got that powertrain upgrade coming through next time out, so hopefully that should come through without any issues, but time now, nothing left to do in the team hub, so let's head over to Singapore and get this race weekend underway. Time now for qualifying at the malicious and unforgiving Marina Bay Street Circuit held here in Singapore. Of course, introduced back on the F1 calendar in 2008. Notably, Crashgate was the very first Singapore Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso and Renault with the crash that gave, obviously, then the safety car they needed and the opportunity to try and win that Grand Prix, which all came on down the next year. But on to our first qualifying run here. Of course, as I say, Singapore lacking for pace so far. That first outlap was quite a tough one to sort of navigate again. Obviously, we'll set a banker here just to try and get ourselves on the board and see where we need to make improvements. Going through turns 2 and 3 now, keeping the car mostly under control. That's the main thing, I feel, because the tyres, the rear tyres can get quite cooked on a circuit such as this. But going through towards turn 5 now and looking for our first DRS straight on the circuit. Of course, one of the crucial overtaking points heading down in towards this next left-hander. Coming towards the end of the first sector though, it'll be a 26.8 to kick us off. So an alright start, because we'll see where we stack up compared to everyone else in the running order. Pushing on now towards the end of the lap, and we've got Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren coming through to set his first lap of the session. It'll be a 1 minute 36.9 for Ricciardo. We come to the last corners ourselves, looking like a 1:38.3 here over the line. So P3, 1.3 off the pace of Ricciardo's McLaren, so not at all a good start. So we'll try and go for another lap here on these tyres, see if we try and gain some time, but unfortunately, going into the last sector, that happened. So wing damage now on the car. We'll have to go back in and fix that, abandon this second lap, unfortunately. But you know what? I'm pleased to actually get out there and set a lap nice and easy, because obviously, like I said, it's been a while since I've driven Singapore properly, and of course, in a Red Bull machine such as this one, we should be, in terms of pace, I think we're probably higher up than we probably would be normally. But we'll go on to our second set of soft tyres. Whether we use that third set and go for one last run is another question, because of course, I imagine if we get to the top 10, obviously, we'll have to use that tyre for this first stint of the Grand Prix. So that's plus and minuses, but we'll see how much we improve here. It's P10, and I think we can try and get some more pace out of this race car. So we'll go into that one more set of soft tyres, go for a third run right at the end of qualifying into the last sector here. Of course, this part of the circuit, long remodified since 2023. Of course, it's been a while since that Grand Prix. We're going through the last couple of corners here to complete our qualifying run. Down P12 right now. Hopefully those few tenths get back inside the top 10 again to give us a decent starting spot. For the last corner here, checker flag is in the air after the last turn and be improved by 6 tenths. And in the end, it'll be P10, so just inside the top 10, which means we'll be using those soft tyres for the start of the race. We'll see where about that gets us.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So Bottas on pole, then Hamilton second and Verstappen third. Mercedes lock out the front row. We qualify down in 10th place, a full second off the pace. But I'm not too fussed with our driver's title ambitions out of the picture. I think if we just try and finish this race and score some points, that'll be a good day. Let's head now to the Grand Prix.
Against the spectacular backdrop of the Singapore skyline, Formula One returns once again to do battle in what tends to become something of an endurance race, with the notorious sauna-like temperatures in the cockpit making for an extremely physically challenging Grand Prix. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Cohen, and Sebastian Vettel, Ocon, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Giovinazzi, Russell, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we go then, no more talking, time for action at the Singapore Grand Prix, this time from P9 on the grid. So fortunately, that turbocharger change didn't give us a single penalty going into the Grand Prix. But in terms of the race, it'll be a two-stop this one, 6 laps on the soft tyres, and then another 2 stops on the, two stints rather, on the mediums. In terms of fuel, we'll keep it as it is, because I don't want to risk happening in Monza, because we think we would have run out of fuel if we hadn't retired. But we'll see how we get on here from P9 on the grid. The lights are coming on now for round 10 of the season, the Singapore Grand Prix under the lights here in Marina Bay. Lights out, foot to the floor, we are underway, going down towards turn 1, decent getaway there, Gasly, Alonso, there in front of us, there goes Ocon to our outside, and Tsunoda to our inside, going towards that first corner, into turn 1, Gasly, locking up in front of us, will maintain P9 over Ocon, goes to the inside of Gasly, going through turns 2 and 3, and on corner exit, pulling clear of the Frenchman, our former teammate, and up into 8th place, so 1 place gained off the start, down the inside of Alonso here, going into turn number 5, and looking for the DRS choke for the first time, of course, no DRS in play for the first 2 laps, but batteries in play though, using overtake, trying to pull clear of the Alpine, going down towards turn number 7, the Memorial corner, into the left-hander, getting closer and closer into the braking zone. Alonso outbrakes us, he's there going over the curve a bit too much, we'll go back around his outside and take P7 away, so that's 2 places gained off of the race start, so not too bad to get away at all. Carlos Sainz there in front of us, the 2 Mercedes cars leading away from them, Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, and then ourselves the top 7. On to lap 3, and the rear tyres are struggling a lot, we've lost a lot of pace, we lost a lot of time, Sainz behind, he's about 2 seconds in front of us right now, and Alonso and Gasly are still hunting us down as we make our way down towards turn number 13, one of the tightest corners on the circuit. Alonso down the inside, diving in, the Spaniard going for it, and Gasly making it a double whammy too, so down the inside go both cars, and we fall down back to P9 again, and there goes Ocon trying our outside, going down towards turn number 14. We'll hold off Ocon for now. Alonso locks up in front of us, but those 2 are away. Gasly gets to P7 on corner exits, he wins out. Alonso's in 8th, and we're now 9th, and we're losing time to those guys on lap 4 here, so these rear tyres are not working, these soft tyres not doing their job, running out of wear this early on in the race. So we'll come in now 2 laps earlier than anticipated for our first stop of this Grand Prix, gets onto the medium tyres, and from there we should see a vast improvement in terms of pace. Best to go onto these earlier than try and suffer on 2 more laps on the soft tyres. Of course, this will make our second stint a little bit longer, but it's a price I'm willing to pay. 2.4 second stop, and we are away from the Red Bull pit box and go back out towards the racetrack again. Of course, dead last now. A lot of work to be done in this race. We want to try and get us up the order. We'll see what we can do in terms of tyre wear from here on out. I should imagine we'll see a massive improvement in pace get back on the racetrack. So we're trying to take advantage of that the next 2 laps, so we can obviously take advantage to get back in front of Alonso and Gasly at maximum. So out of the pit lane here, Singapore with one of the most horrible pit exits on the F1 calendar, making our exit now out of turn 3 and towards 4, and making our way onto the circuit back in dead last. As we come back onto lap 5 here, a few cars coming to pit lane, Sainz on his way in, yellow flag in the last sector going through towards turns 22 and 23. Tsunoda's out of the race, an early retirement for the AlphaTauri driver, of course, the driver called into be our replacement at AlphaTauri this season. The rookie here dealing with a mechanical failure this early on in the Grand Prix, a very physically demanding Grand Prix so far. There has been smoke pouring back the AlphaTauri off from the vehicle, and Tsunoda will pull that car over, going out of turn 22 and they'll be raced over. So one more car less to worry about in this Grand Prix. That'll put us up to 19th at this point, and we'll see whereabouts we stack up coming up the pit lane as Tsunoda pulls over, a race over for him. On to lap 6 then, making our way at the last 2 corners to push towards lap 7. Gasly and Alonso both at the pit lane here, medium tyres going on fastest lap, so pace is a lot better now as they make our way up towards turn number 1 and towards 2 again. There goes Alonso behind us, Gasly alongside going through turns 2 and now 3, making our way in front of the Frenchman. So pit strategy has paid off for us. Going 2 laps early has worked, and we are now not only in front of both those 2 cars, but also back to only being 2 seconds behind Sainz. So we've gained a lot of time back in the pit stops here. So those medium tyres have been a massive help to us so far, but of course they should drop off going towards the end of our second stint, onto our third, onto our other set of medium tyres. Onto lap 10, Gasly still giving us pressure as we go through turn 13 and on towards the DRS straight once again. No DRS for us, but DRS for Gasly, who might take advantage of our slightly poor exit, going to pull to the left-hand side of the racetrack, going towards the braking zone of turn number 14. Gasly on the outside, trying to take us the same way he did Alonso. We're on the inside though, better exit, and we'll try and shut the door on our former teammate if we can. Gasly falls back, and that is once again our position secured. So we'll hold on to the place for now, but Gasly and Alonso still giving us pressure and won't leave us alone at this point in the Grand Prix. We'll continue on here, holding on to P7, Gasly 8th and Alonso 9th, but Sainz now 4.6 in front of us, so still falling away from the Ferrari there, so not fantastic pace so far. Leclerc pits on lap 12, he's got a bit earlier in this first stint, so we'll stay on the racetrack obviously and take P6 away now, so that's 4 places gained off our initial qualifying spot. On to lap 13, then Gasly once again still behind us, hitting the wall there on exit turn 13 and heading down towards 14 again. Gasly with a chance this time on the inside, going towards the right hand. This could be a bit more dire, going in to the braking zone on the outside, looking at the long way round of the corner on the Frenchman. Onto the curbs over there, holding position for the moment, staying in front of Gasly, but he's been keeping us on our toes constantly in this last sector, but a little less chance to overtake, so it could be safe for now in these last couple of corners. Yellow flag in front of us. One of the cars in the top 5's got problems of some kind. Looks like Verstappen has got an issue of some kind. What's happened to our teammate who's slowing up and looks to be pulling over? Is it game over for Verstappen? It is game over for Max Verstappen. We'll get a message. There it is. Max Verstappen out of the race, the championship leader, and our teammate, who of course gave us so much trouble last time out, is eliminated from contention to win this thing. Here he is, giving the two Mercedes cars pressure until that happens. The Red Bull, for him the first time this season, goes up in smoke, but of course nothing compared to the 3 times it's happened to us this season. He's been taken out of a much less advantageous position here. Of course, he leads the championship still as it is, but race over for Verstappen, and I can't help but feel a little bit smug here as we make our way past our teammate on the right side of the racetrack, going on to the end of lap 13 and start lap 14, because of course the amount of trouble he's given us so far this season, and of course the fact we've retired several times more than he has this season. But Gasly still there behind us, about half a second back to begin lap 14 of this race, nearing the end of our second stint. But Gasly closing again is making our way down towards through turn 6 and towards turn 7 here, closing in all the time. Going to go down the inside of the racetrack, going towards the braking zone, half a car length in front at the point, but on the outside holding on to our place and looking for turn number 8 here, the right hander, and making our way towards the braking zone once again. Gasly still alongside us, won't let us breathe here. Looks like he might actually have us contact with the Frenchman as we make our way through turn number 9 now and in towards the midway through the second sector. Collision warning there on top of the screen. Gasly still there, not giving us any room to breathe right now. On the inside of us, contact again, slight banging of tyres, and Gasly outbrakes us, and Alonso tries it for a second, trying to take P6 away. So Gasly has the place then, and I feel like even with DRS, it'll be tough to try and catch him now. We've been holding him behind for a sheer amount of time in this Grand Prix, more or less since he made his first pit stop about 7 laps ago. So Gasly is away now with P5, we're in P6, holding off Alonso for P7 with Ocon, his teammate, about 2.5 seconds behind us right now. So pace is struggling once again. So as we were earlier on in this Grand Prix, onto lap 18, the medium tyres, another 4 laps older, I'm really struggling here. I think just the lack of grip on a circuit such as this can be killer to you in a race such as this one. But into the pit lane now for our final pit stop in our last stint. Ocon stays on the racetrack, Alonso comes in behind us. I think Ricciardo is staying out now, he comes in behind us too. So of course Ricciardo started a long way back in the race, so he's fighting back in this Grand Prix. He'll come in right in front of us here as he makes his stop change onto his last set of medium tyres. We're away now, 2.5 second stop. A bit of a mistap there, getting the clutch away, but narrowly getting back out in front of Alonso, only just. And I feel like Gasly is a couple of seconds in front of us. There he is, making his way up the pit lane. And I wonder if we'll be able to keep it in front of the cars around us. And Alonso right on our tail there on pit exit. But a number of cars coming through here. Mazepin, Latifi and Schumacher all there on corner exit out the pits. Warning for crossing the white line, but right on the inside, Schumacher going in towards turn 3 and pulling in front. Hopefully, if we can get around these 3 cars quickly, they're going to try and hold up Alonso and Ricciardo, give us a bit more breathing room here for the last part of the Grand Prix. So closing on Latifi now through turn number 5 and heading down towards 6. DRS in play, making our move on the Canadian on the inside, going towards 6 and jumping in front. And Mazepin on next time, so can we try and get him going towards turn 7, maybe around the outside of the racetrack, going into the left-hander, and once again another place stolen. And Alonso struggling to get around Schumacher here, and Latifi and Mazepin forming a brick wall. For those of you who know Latifi and Mazepin back in the day, that is an absolute killer pairing. So we'll hold on to place for now. It'll be P13 for now, but obviously once pit lane cycles out, we should be back on P7 or P6 here, depending on when Leclerc makes his last stop of the Grand Prix, because he's out sequence with everyone else. We're back into P6 on the end of lap 21, start lap 22, Gasly in 5th, and thanks to that, Alonso's dropped back. Ocon, Ricciardo taking full advantage. Ocon's there right now in 8th place. It'll be 7th when he passes Leclerc. But right now, it's more or less all they wrote for that last part of the Grand Prix. On to the last lap, though. Ocon and Ricciardo sliced our advantage over them about in half here. And we are struggling in terms of tyre wear at this point in the race. Hamilton is on his last lap. Bottas right behind him. But those two are on for a 1-2. There'll be a huge hammer blow to us at Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship. And, of course, to Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. We're not too bothered about that. Ocon is closing in more than more by about a second a lap at this point in the Grand Prix, so let's try to hold on as best we can in terms of our worn tyres. Look at them struggling massively on these tyres, and of course our power unit starting to struggle too. The ICE running into problems, but Hamilton, just a few corners to go now, making his way through turns 20 and 21 for the last time. As I say, crucial hammer blow to us here at Red Bull as those two come through to claim a 1-2 finish. Hamilton will close Verstappen's lead in the championship and win the Singapore Grand Prix. Bottas will follow him home in second, and Lando Norris will take third despite dealing with problems himself. Close to the end of the race, Sainz was closing in on him for 4th. As we come through the last couple of corners ourselves here, Ricciardo closing in all the time. We are really struggling here. Damage on our front wing. No indication we've got that. But into the last couple of corners now. Looks like we're going to narrowly hold on to this one. Ricciardo about a second in front of us. Ocon right behind him. In towards turns 22 and 23 for the last time. And we're only going to just about hang on to P6 and actually finish the Grand Prix for the first time since Silverstone. And that is a positive result in itself. Unfortunately, our chances for the Drivers' Championship are more or less dead and buried at this point with 6 rounds to go. But we've closed on Verstappen a little bit in terms of gap. But of course, we work to do now to close down the gaps that Mercedes will no doubt have set after today's race. Frustrating there, but overall, we managed to finish the Grand Prix.
They've endured the harsh conditions here in Singapore to pull off a spectacular victory. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
Hamilton wins them from Bottas second and Norris in 3rd place. Again, 1-2 for Mercedes. That'll be a crucial hammer blow to take in both championships. We'll have a look at the table here and see how things have changed, as well as the top 10 results for what was a very high pressure Singapore Grand Prix.
It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Well, Crofty, Daniel Ricciardo would have to be my driver of the day. It's less about what he did right, but how little he did wrong. Perfect driving.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So the rest of the top 10, and Sainz finishes in 4th place, Gasly 5th, we finish in 6th, Ricciardo right behind us in 7th by less than a second, Ocon 8th, Leclerc 9th, a free stop for him in this Grand Prix, and Vettel rounds out the top 10 at another point for Aston Martin, beating Alonso by just 7/10. Of course, Alonso's behind us at one point in the Grand Prix, and of course Verstappen out of the Grand Prix, one of the 2 retirements along with Yuki Tsunoda. So in terms of the championship, then Hamilton now closes Verstappen's lead to 12 points. We sit 76 points back, still in 5th place, 16 points back from Norris, and still the way back from Bottas. So P3, I think, the target now for the last 6 races of the season. In terms of the constructors, of course, our objective is to win that for Red Bull. Mercedes now 17 points clear. Some work to do there, but we can get myself and Verstappen up to temperature again, up to pace, and I see no reason we can't go on and steal things from there. But still, our Drivers' Championship is more or less over with 6 races to go. And with that, guys, that brings an end to another episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 videos. Let me know what I could have improved on. Until the next video, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.